provides the information that we need to talk about Saweetie, my guy, I'm going to click and watch. K-Dot showed up at Cardi concert in LA. Could talk about it. There is also a video. Okay. We can do that. We can do that after for sure. It's just, I'm not really surprised. It's kind of expected. You have Playboy Cardi in LA. Kendrick is chilling right now. The third leg is going to pick up again in December, so he's kicked up right now. So it makes sense. Everything was lining up for that to happen, so I'm not too excited like, oh my God, he's going to perform good credit. No, I love good credit. Kids in my body, and that's on my kids. I kid with nobody. You know what this is? The vamps and the boogers, we troop through the party. The paddock is filling and way before budget. I lose it on tour. I would have said YouTube, but you knew what the list was for. Yeah, I know. I know the lyrics. So, yes, I love good credit. Don't get it twisted. But for me to be like, yo, I can't believe. No. Let's breathe a little bit. If you have Playboy Cardi stopping in LA, Kendrick's chilling there. We gonna see the boogeyman come out. That's all I'm saying. You know, but let's go ahead and lock in with this one. Let's go ahead and get started. Y'all know how I start this, right? So let's go ahead and make it happen. Yo, you, right here in the small box, right here in the small box. Welcome back to Flex Mob Reactions, only on the Flex Mob Network. I'm Flex. Welcome back to Sid's channel. How's everyone doing? Happy Wednesday. I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was Thursday for a second, if I'm gonna be honest with you. But we here, we locked in, we live and direct. You see me, okay? So, I want to talk about Saweetie first. I know we're here for the hip-hop, but this is technically hip-hop because to see an artist fall this far from the grace that she got, knowing that she was all she had was handouts. Damn near every song that she put out was a sample of something else, which is super crazy because everyone's like, oh, Saweetie's gonna be the next one up. Saweetie's gonna take over the rap game. This about Saweetie, that about Saweetie. Now Saweetie a yacht girl. That girl on a yacht, and you know if you see one of them girls on a yacht, you know exactly what kind of time they on. Tragic. Lanita, what's good? I see you. Look at that green and the little flex emoji beside Lenny. Look at that. Look good. You see it? So let's go ahead and lock in. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the reaction. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when I drop my videos or when I'm live, like right now. And let's go ahead and get started.
Blind Items have been saying this for a while, but now there is a woman on Instagram who is accusing Saweetie of being a yacht girl. And for those of you who don't know what a yacht girl is, it's basically a girl who sells cookies, but she's not a Girl Scout.
You may not have heard of this young lady because I haven't either. Her name is Maybach May. If you look at her Instagram, it doesn't seem like
is she Ethiopian? She looked like a Habisha.
Whole lot of stuff popping. She just looks like the average chick with a BBL and a nice body, and nothing else is to be seen there, right?
Oh, Lord.
But that's what you think. Just because somebody don't have a whole lot of followers, it don't mean that they're not important in the industry. And according to this chick, she's more important than we think. Fast forward. Maybach May is one of the largest madams in the industry. And what Maybach May does is she connects a lot of beautiful women to rich men all over the world.
Oh, nah. Oh, nah, this game different. The game has changed. The game has changed. For the game to go this way, I'm just like, we don't even need to be here. Yo, it's one thing when you see the dudes be having job titles like this, but when the women be on that kind of timing, oh, you know, there's something going on behind the scenes, and it's getting real spooky.
She's going to Dubai, Lagos,
Lord
Europe,
have mercy.
Wherever you think that the rich guys are at, she has them in her system. And a lot of girls want to deal with Maybach May because she's the connection to all the guys with the money. And one of those ladies allegedly is Saweetie. Now, if you look at Saweetie's Instagram following, she got 12.4 million followers, Why would Saweetie be working with a lady that got 25,000?
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, the numbers don't matter, especially on social media. A lot of people buy their followers. We went through this a couple weeks ago on this channel where we would look at certain celebrities and we would look at the followers that they have. If you notice, let me tell you something. Just looking at these numbers right now. Yes, you have a lot of fans. This is what you're saying. But if you have this many people following you, that means your music is good. She ain't dropped nothing in how long? So how do you have 12 million? Unless you bought it. That's the thing. People buy their followers. They will pay a set amount to buy followers so that they can look better than the average person in their class, basically. And this is how you know the industry is backwards, because a lot of people in the industry, they look for followers. They don't look for talent. They look for people that have a following, but they don't understand that you can buy that. Listen, when you come to the Flex Your Mind Network, I'm going to let y'all know right now. I graduated for advertising and marketing communications. This is my realm. I know this ish. This is something that is very easy to do, but I'm not even going down that path, because I know for a fact, if you have this much, that means people are coming here expecting something. No, you grow and you build. That's the key. You build a community, you build a foundation, and you use that foundation to become a better person, whether if it's an artist, businessman, entrepreneur, etc. There are levels to how you do this, and it's going to take time. She bought her ish. Look at her followers. Her, like, in reality, if you never bought any of the followers, a lot of the times, and you got to think about ratio, so you got to add a little math in there, but a lot of the times when it comes to just like the ratio of the followers to following, for a lot of women out there, especially that are like a lot of women that look good, that look look great, their ratios are usually 5-1, which is in this case 5,000 to the 1,000 that you see there. That's usually on average for, like, you know, model type women. And that's if you don't do anything, like if you don't buy no followers, nothing. So for her, yes, she bought a lot. She ain't got no music, so how you got 12? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just letting y'all know. That's it. I'm letting y'all know.
Followers.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, new beginning.
Here's a story. Fast forward. Maybach May had a connection with a guy by the name of Jadon Sancho. Now, he plays in the Premier European League. I think it's Manchester United. I'm not necessarily sure. But the guy makes a lot of money, like over $180,000 per week. And this dude is known for tricking on women. Like, he is known for spending...
I'm going to keep it tall with you right now. If y'all think the NBA players are bad, I feel sorry for you, because if I'm going to be honest, it's the people that you don't hear about that are the worst ones. And if I'm going to be keeping it tall with you, remember, it's one thing to be in North America, but to be in Europe, oh my God. North America, there's a lot of rules, whether if it's like social rules or like actual laws. For a lot of black basketball players, they can move a certain way and it's cool. Out in Europe, it's different. To be honest, they're moving like it's back in the day, if I'm going to be super, super real with you. And you know what I'm talking about when I say that, because in terms of like the dating and just like how people hook up and everything like that, it's different from here. Yo, I'm going to tell y'all right now, the soccer players are the worst ones, because those are the most quiet. Those are the quietest dudes. You don't hear nothing from them. You don't hear nothing. But if you paid attention, like if you go and Google these things and you search up these things, yo, soccer players be cheating. They be admitting that they cheat on live. They get caught cheating. Like, yo, these dudes are worse than NBA players, worse than anybody in North America. These little rappers that we got here are nothing compared to the soccer players out there. And nobody's ready for that conversation. These dudes are vile.
A whole lot of money. So basically what Maybach May did was say, listen,
Exactly,
Saweetie,
Jordan.
I got this dude, and he's a younger guy. He's like 21. And, you know, Saweetie is closer to being like 30. So, look, this young dude, if you deal with him, he'll spend money on you. But here's what you got to do. You got to pay me my money, and, you know, whatever else you get from him, you can keep. But as long as I get my cut, I'm cool.
He's right, you know.
And here's a text message that's even explaining that. Here it says, what you doing? We should do a big bear trip with good friends, group, co-ed. Oh my God, it's so nice here. And even that's cold, it's 2 hours from LA. At the studio, girl, all my friends out of state. When bees run it up on Jadon, how much they doing in a weekend? Woo! Now, this is evidence, right? Fast forward! But here's what Saweetie did. She fell in love with Jadon, or got Jadon to fall in love with her. And so she ended up in a full relationship with Jadon Sancho. Now, Jadon Sancho ended up getting, you know, a tattoo of her, I think like on his neck or something like that. What? And basically they got into a full-blown relationship and basically cut off Maybach May. And so this is the problem.
What's good, J-Tom? How you doing?
Maybach May is saying, listen, you owe me money, and you was out here dealing with the dude that I set you up with, and now you don't want to pay me? Let's go back to that first text message. She goes, Sancho, after you done paying and getting tattoos of a 304, you barely know. Run me my money. She hates her career, so you come right on time like the trick you are. I just want what y'all owe me. So obviously, Jadon didn't pay her, and Saweetie must have told him not to pay. Now, what else? Cocaine, witchcraft, and liquor is one hell of a mix. Send me my bread home, wrecker. Woo! Now, before I get into the rest of the screenshots, I kind of want...
So, hold on. Let me get this right. And, yo, this I got to make sure that I link this back to, like, her artistry and everything. But to understand what's going on, she got set up with dude. And she fell in love with dude. And she told dude, don't pay her. She wanted all for herself. She wanted all for herself. That's crazy. Yo, sweetie, let me tell you something, girl. Listen, you had all the resources in the world. You had all the link ups that you can do. You had all the like mentors behind the scenes that can help and guide you. She even went to artist camp. Sweetie went to artist camp because a lot of people complained about how she wasn't moving on stage. A lot of people were saying that, oh, she looks very lazy on stage. She went to artist camp to work on these things. What happened? Yo, when I say Sweetie had everything she needed to make herself go from that to an actual artist, you just need to train yourself and you throw it away? That's crazy. What are the rules when you fall in love with your trick? The rule is don't fall in love with the trick because you're going to ruin the business. Because as far as I see it, basically what's her name? Maybach May? That's a crazy name, by the way. Maybach May is insane. But anyway, for May over here, I'm not calling her no damn Maybach May. That's not your name. Your name May to me. For May, look, she got a business. What she's doing is that she's funneling the females to the players or whoever that she has as clients, right? If any of the girls fall in love with said client, especially if the client is rich, you done cut off the whole pipeline. Now your handler, which is so crazy to say for Sweetie, the fact that Sweetie has a handler, your handler gonna be pissed with you because that was one of her best clients that she would get paid from and then give the girls a little cut. Bro, that's crazy. Literally, all she had to do was work on herself. But that goes to show you, especially from her eating habits, and I say that specifically because if you would have seen the kind of concoctions that she made in the kitchen at her grown age, no, based on her laziness, based on her lack of what's the word? Like, just you the more that I think about you, I get disappointed. Like, you don't have no work ethic. Why did you even want to step into the game in the first place? All you had to do was be a model. All she had to do was be a model. That's it. They tried to get her to be the next girl, but she didn't even want to be the next girl, but she wanted to be in the spotlight. You should have just been a model. Because you were wasting everybody's time. Now your fans are looking at you like, so wait, you really be on the boat for real? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? Like, it's not looking good out here. She hasn't done anything since Quavo. Oh, don't even get me started on that. Quavo left her, so she needed another trick. Don't kill me, J-Tom. Yo. And I do think Offset dealt with Saweetie. Because why would the Migos break up like that? Why would the Migos have turmoil like that unless there's a girl involved? For a lot of these situations that's going on, there's always a girl involved. Always.
To get into what Saweetie is kind of known for.
Saweetie is allegedly a yacht girl who makes far more money from yachting than she does from her music career. And according to this blind item, she allegedly has a substance abuse problem that is making her messy and causing her to lose yachting clients. And the blind item reads, this A-list Nepo baby, who's a rapper, singer, niece, cousin, and granddaughter of famous names, earns way more from yachting each week than from her actual music. But her substance habit has gotten out of control, and the messiness is driving clients away fast.
So Saweetie is known for being a yacht girl. So this is the girl who doesn't really advertise that they're selling cheeks, but they are selling cheeks. And again, this young lady already mentioned that Saweetie has a drug problem. And this other lady here is saying that, hey, Saweetie is out here clapping cheeks, and a lot of clients are tired of her.
Yo, let me find out Saweetie playing with her nose now. Let me find out she playing with her nose. Like, yo, you should. I feel bad. I feel bad because whoever was scouting her at the time, they were desperate. This is another part of the industry where there's a lot of dummies that work behind the scenes. If this individual that was scouting her was smart, they wouldn't put her down as a rapper. You put her down as a model. You can still do the same thing. Clean, by the way. None of this could go on because, like, you can still find a modeling agency. You can still get work. You can still get your photos taken, be in videos. You can be like the main girl for like major commercials, get a heavy payment from said company. Go about your business. Fly around the world taking photos, taking pictures, etc., etc. That's what you do. But instead, you want to go down this route. This route is not good. This route is dirty. It's filthy. This route is not clean. Now look at you. Your nose is not clean. That's crazy.
Her and her drug issues. And she's not the only person to mention this sort of freestyling idea.
You need to build your brand up so that you're not known as a 304, because what men really like, they like freestylers better, okay? They don't want a girl to be posting ads online and stuff. No, they want to feel like they just stumbled across a beautiful woman, and for this price, they could have access.
So
I love how she opened up with, you got to build your brand up. That's the same thing that I talk about on this channel. Building your brand, building your character, building your artistry. That's the same thing I talk about. I love it when I hear people say that because they know what kind of time we on when we lead with that in the conversation. We're not here for play when we lead with that. Build your brand. Now we're talking business. As an artist, you need the artistry. That's the first requirement. But another prerequisite is knowing the business. if you want to survive, or at least know some marketing techniques if you want your money. Like, oh, buddy. Yeah, she at the party playing with her nose. Now, that's crazy, bro. That's so crazy to me.
You know, this lady has a good point. Like,
3 or 4 years.
People don't want you to be advertising your cheeks out there, but they want to know that you're down with the get down. And it gets even worse.
I'm not saying that her music is a cover-up. No, it's not a cover-up. She's an entertainer that goes along with it. So like a child actor grows up, then they're known for being a 304 all of a sudden, but not to regular people. As far as you guys know, they're just a singer, a dancer, an actor, a YouTuber, anything, an influencer. A lot of high-end 304s are actually influencers, and that's what builds your brand better. Why do you think I'm in so many people's YouTube videos? I'm on podcasts like Fresh and Fit. I'm in 20v1s with Kodak. It's all because it builds your persona. It builds your brand. So this way, when I say, hey, I want X amount, it makes sense because I'm an entertainer. I'm a celebrity.
Now, she's breaking down the whole playbook for
You a celebrity, but I never met you a day in my life. I never even seen you a day in my life. Who is you?
Influencers. If you look at somebody like Saweetie, she's always on like 20 versus 1 shows. She's always on like podcasts, the Fresh and Fit. Like, she moves around, and you don't really see a whole lot of the better rappers doing that, like Cardi B. And to be honest, Cardi B, you know, did mention that Saweetie was doing stuff like this. Remember that Saweetie was with Quavo, and then Saweetie ended up sleeping with Offset, which caused some tension between the whole Migos crew and all of that. Like, I mean, Saweetie just is down bad for real. Like, just down bad as hell. But check this out.
I have said it before, and I get crucified for it. People get so mad every single time I bring it up. But your favorite musicians are not very wealthy. Like, there's no money to be made in the music industry. A lot of them are broke. Some of the influencers on this app make more money than your favorite musicians. And the reason why, it's not just because, I think especially this applies especially like in hip hop, it's not just because they don't get paid that much. It's also because they get paid a decent amount. It's because their lifestyle is extremely expensive. Like, if you are in hip hop, part of being in hip hop.
But that's the part that that's where you fell for the stereotype. Because as an artist, you start off broke as hell as an artist. But they feed you the stereotype where it's like, you gotta have the Gucci belt. You gotta have the Balenciaga sneakers. You gotta have the what else? What other brands out there? Because I'm not familiar with these high-end brands. Like, you need the Prada. You need the Louis V. You need those to be seen as this. When in reality, and mind you, that's the same thing happening here, when in reality, none of that matters. None of those things matter. Because it's not the clothes that makes you who you are. It's who you are that makes the clothes. But they flipped the script and said you got to wear the expensive-ish for people to see you this kind of way. When in reality, and Kendrick puts this on full display, when you have that stardom, when you have that talent, when you're known for this, it don't matter what you wear. You can wear some fly-ish that costs about $500 instead of going buying thousands to go buy a $1,000 hat, to buy a $10,000 zip-up jacket. When you are who you say you are, you can go. Well, you don't want to go too cheap because then people look at you like, oh, this nigga broke. Nah. You want to wear something reasonable, couple hundred that you want to spend. If you want to go find a brand that got some fly shit, buy their t-shirt. If a t-shirt like $150, buy the t-shirt. If the t-shirt's fly, the rapper knows what to do. That's why fashion also matters with hip-hop, because they literally go hand in hand. It's the hip-hop that sells the fashion, not the fashion selling the hip-hop. That's what they sold to the artists here. That's what they sold to the artists that are not smart. You got to wear these clothes to be this person. When in reality, you're supposed to be this person to wear these clothes. They got it backwards for real. It's all backwards. I've never seen Saweetie on none of those shows. I'm telling you. She thinks she got pretty privilege. How is that working out for you?
Hip-hop is that you have to look rich. You have to pretend to be ultra wealthy. And living outside of your means is very expensive. It's not just like having a fancy house and owning cars, right? It's also like having a glam team all the time, having an agent, having a manager, having a social media person. All of that is very, very expensive. In your mind, you thought Saweetie was affording all of that off of her music career when she's been in the game 10 years and has still not put out a debut album?
Now this.
Oh my God. Saweetie has been in the game for 10 years and never put out a debut album? Oh my God. Whoa. Whoa. Saweetie has been around for a decade and never dropped a debut album? Hermes, Chanel, I appreciate you. That's why rich people stay rich. They don't drink the Kool-Aid. I'm telling you. Lanita, I'm telling you. But yo, I'm actually still stuck on that. She's been around for a decade and never had a debut album. Oh, they got her good. They got her good, and it's her own fault. It's her own fault. You should have been a model. At least the models. Who would have thought the models would have their own shows like Love is Blind? I would definitely see Saweetie on a show like that. I would definitely see Saweetie on reality TV shows. Get your bag that way. Love is Blind is just filled with a bunch of models. They're making the models famous. They're giving the models personality. We wouldn't have seen this today, but look where we are today. You can make anything a thing. You can make anything a brand. Yo, damn, bro. That's so wild.
This young lady mentioned something similar about your favorite influencers being broke. Now, for me, I'm looking at 12.4 million followers. I'm like, damn, she must be doing good. But if you look at her lifestyle, she got to keep up that image, right? Like, that's how she got popular. Now, this is something that's interesting because somebody like me, as a YouTuber or a down bad influencer, like, I got, popular because of my commentary. Nobody follows me because I need to be extravagant or opulent or fashion-based. And this is why a lot of YouTubers end up having more money than influencers, because people tend to watch us for us, and we don't have a pressure of trying to be, flashy or living a big lifestyle. That's the same thing with athletes. They don't have to actually live a rich lifestyle to be rich. Like Kawhi Leonard is a good example of that. But if you come in the game and you're a hot chick like Saweetie, you have a lifestyle, and if the money isn't coming in because the music industry doesn't pay it, you got to get that money somehow, all right? And so, and then also, she's never had a debut album, so you're not making money from music, so what are you making money from? But wait, there's more.
If you are ever trying to pocket watch your favorite celebrity and they're a musician specifically, right, you're trying to figure out if they're broke or not, all you have to do is check to see their endorsement deals, right? The more endorsement deals they have, the more paid they are. If you have a favorite celebrity, I'm not going to say no names, there's one in particular I'm thinking of, and they haven't had an endorsement deal in years, they're probably broke. And I'm going to leave that at that. Unless they own businesses and companies that are kept on the hush, 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 they're probably broke.
You know what, Alex? I'm glad you said that, because a decade and a half ago, that degree, that diploma, that piece of paper would mean something. But we're living in a society, we're living in an environment where when you graduate, me being an example, for when you graduate for something, I'm paying for Yo, don't kill me. Don't kill me. Yo, shout out to Alex, y'all. Shout out to Alex. That's crazy. That's crazy. W Alex in the chat. What? Hey, yo, Alex, we appreciate you. Thank you. I just meant that she's pretty intelligent. I think very intelligent. I don't disagree. But going back to the point that I was making, even if you have that degree, even if you have that diploma, you can throw me into that conversation too, because I'm a graduate as well for something that's actually very important to like society in a sense when it comes to marketing, because that's marketing shapes a lot of things, you know. But it means nothing. You can graduate and have a high GPA and it means nothing, because at the end of the day, a lot of jobs, they're either hiring internally or through nepotism is usually how it goes. Same thing that's happening in the industry, because even Lucian Grange's son works in the industry now, and that's through Lucian. Lucian, his father, got his son the job in the industry, and now his son is set. Nepotism, you know? So even though, yes, you are qualified, you're still disqualified because we don't really need you in a sense, but you're doing good for yourself. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It's twisted out here. It's twisted. You can have all the requirements and still not be able to get the job. And then somebody that doesn't even have the requirements is going to get your job. A lot of that be going on in today's society. If you don't have at least a master's degree, you ain't got ish now, if that even works. I don't even know if I'm going to tell you, I don't even know if the master's degree is even going to be your gateway for real, because you still got a network.
So this is an important distinction. Again, like if you look at somebody and the brand deals that they have, this would indicate
maybe J.
how much money they actually make. Now, this is something that we saw with Will Smith. Once Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, he lost a lot of brand deals, okay? And so this hurt him financially. Now, you already know his lifestyle is really up there. It's expensive. But to lose brand deals, which, I mean, again, I would assume that Saweetie has a lot of brand deals, or maybe she doesn't. But if you don't have those brand deals, and those brand deals pay a lot of money, it's kind of how you make cash in the industry. And so if you somehow lose that, you lose it all. Okay, and this is kind of what's happening with Saweetie. She doesn't really have brand deals, okay? So if you don't have brand deals, you're not a podcaster, you're not really working a lot, you got to make that money, because this industry for music is not really there. And, YouTubing is there, but YouTubing is hard. People can say, well, why don't you start a podcast?
There she go with that BS eating now. Look, let me read Alex's comment for context. But honestly, we would all do that for our own children. I don't disagree, but in Sweetie, since she ain't got no kids, if the opportunity arose, we all usually get jobs through somebody we know either way. I agree with you. But what's going on in the industry, and it's been going on for many years, is that they're going to feed you something that's simply not true. They're going to put different ideas in your head and say, you got to do this, you got to do that. Y'all remember when Sweetie had her the McDonald's meal? She had her own McDonald's, like a little McDonald's menu, like her own McDonald's meal, like kind of situation. You got to think about who her competition at the time was, which is like a Megan Thee Stallion or something like that, right? For her to get a McDonald's deal, similar to how Megan Thee Stallion had a Popeyes deal, if I'm correct. You got to see what the industry fed to her. That's a lie that they fed her. Oh, you're on the same level as... No, you're not. You're not on the same level as Megan Thee Stallion. Because we don't know you for writing bars. We know you for looking good. So why didn't they promote her as somebody that looks good, that can rap? You had the citygirls. You could have promoted her the same way. Well, the citygirls are done. But you could have promoted her similar to how y'all promoted the citygirls. You know? Now we live in a world where the authenticity matters, and they went and got somebody that has no authenticity. They fed her lies and boosted her up, But they never stopped to think maybe we should at least train her a little bit, you know, get her in the artist camp, which they kind of did, but it didn't work out. But get her to work on herself, work on her brand, work on her character, her artistry, everything. It just didn't work. And I hate to say it like this, but Saweetie is pretty much an experiment with a decent hypothesis that simply didn't work. Correct. We are all being fed with whatever news and information that the network corporation shows us. Tricky now. Exactly.
Yes, a lot of people have podcasts. It's still hard. It's not easy, you know, doing this work every day. So, you know, the quickest way to do that is, I mean, if you were going to sleep with somebody anyway, it was to go head on and basically pay to get the cheeks clapped. And it goes back to what the manosphere guys have always taught, that certain ladies are always for sale. It doesn't matter. Like a lot of girls, you know what? Let me just say this. Fast forward. I know so many ladies who are IG influencers, especially in this part of the world. And again, they're like yacht girls. They out here, you know, living it up. They may have a few brand deals, but trust me, like they can barely pay their rent. They can barely pay for electricity. I mean, like, it's, you know, they need hair, they need makeup.
But that's what happens when you come into the industry with no talent. You're going to need help, meaning there's a lot of people that's going to need to get their payment. And one thing that I learned about the industry is that, God damn, that scared the shit. Holy crap, that scared the shit out of me. Oh my God. Anyway, that was the alarm that I had set up before I need to go for like the job interview type situation. But yo, my heart needs to restart. God damn. Anyway, yo, when I say I damn near pissed myself, I'm not kidding. So what I wanted to say is, what was I saying? Hey, when it comes to what's going on behind the scenes, what a lot of people need to realize is they're set up to see, they're literally set up to put you in debt and shake you down for money. With what's going on with Saweetie, she has no talent, meaning a lot of people need to get paid. One thing I learned about the industry is when it comes to somebody, when it comes to the artist to get their payment, everybody on their team gets paid first before the artist. In other words, when the artist gets paid, they get paid last. They get paid last. So just understand, when you enter the industry, you need to enter with a plan now. It's not the same no more. The code's been cracked. We see what's going on. And because the code's been cracked, shout out Kendrick, we need authenticity. Because we've been given lies. We've been sold lies for years, thinking and assuming that these artists are who they say they are, when in reality they are not who they say they are. But that's okay. We've been told lies, you know. But now that we demand authenticity, which is something that we should keep pushing, who knows where this can go? This might change for the better. It might change for the worse. But with every new horizon comes every new challenges. So just keep in mind, even though we demand authenticity, there's something out there at the same time that is inauthentic, that's getting money too. So
they constantly have to live in that lifestyle, you know, going to dinner, going to 4 Points. I mean, that might be going to dinner, going to hotels, things like that. It costs money to keep playing like that, being out. And, when you pop in bottles, you buying Don Julio in the club, somebody got.
Oh damn! I'm not even being rude. I'm doing what I usually do, and that's just educating. I'm here to educate and have fun and get random stupid ass jump scares that damn near stop my heart. Yeah, we having fun. I mean, is that not what we doing? And Alex, my condolences, by the way. I wish that on nobody. I hope you're okay. I hope you are well. And I appreciate you. Simple.
Pay for that. And somebody got to pay for their food every day. I mean, you get chicks that look so good and they're begging for KFC, like literally begging for KFC.
And that's
you would
valid,
never think
Alex.
that a chick that has a big following on TikTok or Instagram is that broke, but so many chicks don't really have money like that. And this is why, like, dudes who are consistent and they may have a good business, you would have a shot. Like, literally, if you were willing to pay, you would have a shot at these cheeks. I'm just being real. You would be able to go head on and get that clapping off. You might not think so, but oh yes, it happens a lot. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Dude Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell.
And that's why family matters, Alex, Just off of reading your comments. So I'm glad that you're okay and all is well. Everybody moves on to greener pastures, so it's all written in the stars at this point. All you got to do is keep moving forward and keep doing what you need to do. I'm not here to bash on tricking. I'm just saying that there are other ways to getting your money in the industry. If you're not getting paid enough through your music, there are other means to getting paid. One of them is brand endorsements, selling your brand. Your music, the character that you have built, is a brand. You are able to step to major companies and try to get a sponsorship to get your payment. For example, if you go to Apple and say, with the traffic that comes in with the music that I make and the kind of engagement that I have on social media when I post, that could help bring your brand more money to you so that you can have a bigger increase in revenue this year. That's where you have to look at your manager a little bit, because now your manager needs to be business oriented. Now, it is a longer path than just tricking. Tricking is easy. Tricking is quick. You get quick money from doing it. But it's very taxing. What I am explaining is a way where you're creating potentially generational wealth with using your brand, your likeness, as your unique selling point. So remember, there are many ways for artists to be successful. There are many ways for artists to get a bag. There are many ways for artists to be great and wealthy. But you need to know how to play the game is all. What's good, Brianne? How you doing? Flex, how difficult is it to distribute your own music? It's actually very easy. It's very easy, to be honest, but you got to have a strategy when you do it. You can easily drop a single depending on where you want to put the single. If you want to put it on DSPs, there's certain channels that you can go through to upload your music to DSPs, or if you want to upload to YouTube, just upload and drop. Simple, easy. I don't understand why with streaming artists just don't do everything themselves, because artists don't always want to do all the work. It's very taxing and very stressful to have all this work to get done, and you're the only one to do it. That's why they hire people to get the job done. Bro, well, I know exactly who you are. What's good, TW? How you doing? I don't know why YouTube be on some time, bro. I don't know. Maybe I should forget everything I know and come back to gaining popularity. I'm so we can turn you out. It's crazy. But there you go, Saweetie. Done explained, Saweetie. Shoot. What more can I really say about her, man? What more can I really say about her? It's just, it's not that I expected more. I just never seen this coming. Because I thought Saweetie was at least working on something. But she hasn't. And still isn't. And now she has a substance abuse from what's been going on over there. That's why I'm saying the tricking is quick and easy, but it's taxing. You get a big amount of money, but there's always something that comes with it, basically. You know? And it's unfortunate. It sucks. I don't like it personally, but if that's what you want to do, it's peace. But you just at least be aware of the pros and cons of when you do it. You know? So, it's all good. What's good, Anthony? Also, some artists aren't interested in learning business and marketing, so they go to labels to handle that. Yeah, there you go. That too. Exactly. I can probably do one more video, but I gotta bounce right after. I ain't gonna lie to you.